Alright, everyone, it's Jason here. Today we're going to do an unboxing of Marvel Legendaries Dimensions. This is kind of an interesting, unique set. So you can see we have a couple different characters. We have J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man, Squirrel Girl, Howard the Duck, Jessica Jones, America Chavez, and Man-Thing. So a bunch of stuff in this set is brand new, but a bunch of it also came from... They had a Marvel 3D trading cards that came out early in the life cycle of Marvel Legendary, and they had promo cards in them you could get, which were a couple different characters. There was Howard the Duck and Man-Thing, which were brand new, which were both in this set. It's right here, Marvel 3D Returns, as well as some of the henchmen, the Spider Slayers and Circus of Crime, and some special bystanders. So there were certain rights on there that they had to maintain. I want to say it was like 5 years that they were only available in that for that set. People tried tracking them down. The other thing they had in that set that was not reprinted in here is that alternate artwork cards for like 5 characters. That was, I know, Deadpool, Black Widow, and Hulk. There may have been more. To basically replace the fact in the original base game, all the characters have the same artwork on every card. So I really wish they'd make a 2.0 version and fix that, but I don't think that's going to happen. So this set allows people to get those cards that people were having your 4-year exclusivity. I thought it was 5. So it lets people get those other cards. The characters that were exclusive to that set, they can buy now in this set, plus some brand new characters just to spice it up. So if you did already buy them, yeah, you're getting a couple of stuff you already have, but at least there's some new stuff in here. So, alright, our new keywords is we have switcheroo. So some heroes say something like switcheroo 4. This means you can reveal this card from your hand and put it back on the bottom of the hero deck, so basically losing that card. If you do, you may put a hero with the specified printed cost from the HQ into your hand. So if you have a switcheroo card in your hand, you can choose to play it for its normal cost and do everything like normal, or you can permanently swap it for another card in the HQ. If you use switcheroo instead of playing it, you don't get the other effects. It's an either or. But that's kind of neat because they're like, oh, I have this card that maybe has recruit. I don't need to recruit a lot anymore. You could swap it out for something else. Or if, like, I bought this right away, but I need this other color or team ability, you can do that. The bottom of the collective hero deck, not your own personal deck. But you can switch it into any other character. Okay. Another ability is Investigate, which is first in the Marvel Noir series. So that's a returning ability. Some cards say something like Investigate for a card with an attack icon. That means look at the top 2 cards of your deck, reveal a card with the attack icon from amongst them, and draw it. Put the rest back on top of your deck or bottom in any order. So it's also a good way just to cycle through your deck if you need to. Other cards here in Marvel Noir let you investigate cards with certain costs, teams, different icons, and other traits. Whether they find another card or not, you can still decide which cards you'll wear. So even if you don't find what you want, you can still at least cycle through your deck. So like, oh, I didn't find what I want, but I have 2 starter cards, put them on the bottom of your deck. Lets you set up combos for other abilities. Some abilities tell you to investigate entirely different decks, like the villain deck or more. They'll tell you what to do with those cards, like before you put them back wherever. Alright, so there's that. We also have Teleport, which started in Dark City, like the Secret Wars 1 and 2, and was also in the Marvel 3D set. So Teleport just means instead of playing this card, you may set it aside at the end of the next turn, add it to your hand as an extra card. So basically, if you have the card and you're like, I have a crap hand this turn, I'm not going to be able to do anything, you can set that aside, and then you get to use it during your next turn. That's what we got. Let's look at our characters. So one other thing that's different about this set versus other expansions, besides having those reoccurring characters, is we are getting no villains, I don't believe. We're just getting we're getting 2 groups of henchmen. So normally you have a mastermind and you have 2 masterminds and 2 villains. 2 masterminds, 2 villains, and that's what you go on. This one you get no villains and 2 groups of henchmen. So when I go to eventually play test this, and I have to fight my mastermind, I'm only gonna have to play it once because there's only 1 mastermind. But I'm gonna be short 2 villains, so I have to pull 2 villains from the base deck to go ahead and do this. Let's zoom. Alright, so we're going to start with Howard the Duck, who has no team ability. He does not belong to any teams, but he teams up with Spider-Man here. Traveling companions. I read the top card of the bystander deck. There's a special bystander to rescue it, otherwise put it back on the bottom. There are special bystanders in this set. So you're actually going to get a chance, if you're playing with this, you actually get a chance to use those. Unlike the Champion set, which had the Spider-Gwen had 1 ability and there was no thing, so kind of like, that's sort of unfair. Rebel Without a Cause, reveal the top card of your deck. If it costs 0 or has no team icon, draw it. So you get a starting card, or possibly one of his. Or original set Deadpool, or Captain America expansion Winter Soldier. Right place, wrong time. You get +1 attack for each other hero you played with no team icon. So Howard really focuses on not having that team. Being a team without a team. And Interplanetary Visitor. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Draw 1 of them. Discard 1. KO 1. So that's his interesting abilities. Also, because I did not point it out, he has Instinct, Covert, Instinct, and Tech. So a little of everything. Now we have Man-Thing, who also has no team abilities. So he'll work well with those some of those Howard the Duck cards. They're also buddies in the comic books. So formed from Ooze, he has Teleport. You get +2 attack, usable only against villains in the sewer or the Mastermind. So not super great, but you could teleport it and use it on the next turn. So if you're like, this turn I don't have enough for the Mastermind, next turn I might. Burn the Fearful. Choose a villain or Mastermind. If there are no villains or Masterminds adjacent, there are no other villains adjacent to it, it gets -1 attack this turn. I wonder if the Mastermind then is counted as adjacent if there's someone on the bridge. I might say that in the rules. Okay, so that's interesting. Travel the Nexus of Realities. Teleport. You may move a villain to another spot in the city. If the villain's already there, swap them. So this way you can swap them villain to that spot on the bridge that you needed to take care of him. And we have Eternity of Solitude. Strength. You get +1 for each empty city space. So he gets stronger the less people that are around. And there's Howard the Duck hiding in the back. So Man-Thing's pretty interesting. Alright, now we're going to have some team characters. We have Squirrel Girl. I really hope they would sometime have released the rest of the Great Lakes Avengers. One of my favorite oddball teams. But at least we got Squirrel Girl for now. Dorian Gray. Or Dorian Green. Sorry. Find Tiny Friends. So Switcheroo 3. So you can swap this out for a card that costs 3, or you can investigate for a cost that costs 3 or less. Nut Punch. I believe that's Tippy Toe, her little squirrel. Switcheroo 4. Pay 1. You get Instinct. You get +2 attack. I like that so far the Switcheroos are of a higher cost. So you get one, you can trade this card and get something of one higher cost for not having an effect that turn. Here it says Switcheroo 5, Squirrel Guilty. Squirrel. Yeah, Agility? Oh, Squirrel Agility. Like agility. Squirrel Agility. I was thinking there was a space in there for some reason. Switcheroo 5. 2 attack, you get +2 if it was 2 cards entered gauge Q this turn. That's different. So that's only going to work really well with buying stuff or switcherooing abilities, generally. The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, 8 cost. You may choose a number from 1 to 5. Heroes, a hero in your hand gains switcheroo for that number. 2 instant, you may choose a number from 1 to 8 instead. That's sweet, because if you play 2 instant, you could essentially switch a 0 cost card for up to an 8 cost card. That's nuts. Alright, so now we got Jessica Jones. You have a Marvel Knight character. Now she can play with the rest of the Defenders. Alter Ego, who's a Jewel. So Switcheroo 4 and 2 attack. Alias Investigations. Switcheroo 5. Investigate a card for an attack icon. Crack the Case, showing off her super strength. Switcheroo 6, investigate a card for a recruit icon. You may draw that card or KO it. Oh, and we skipped. And Undercover Hidden Evil. Investigate if you play a covert. Investigate the villain deck for a villain. You may put it in your victory pile. If you do its spite effect. Otherwise, put it back on the top or bottom of the deck. So that's kind of neat. You can figure out what villain you want to get. Any villain. Or how many other cards you have to search. I mean, it's like top couple, top 3 or 2 or something. But you have the option of fighting it. So if it's like, ooh, I can beat him, take him out. You can't, I'm going to stick him back in there. Then I have another villain. We have Miss America, American Chavez, who's also part of the Young Avengers. So hopefully they release the rest of the Young Avengers to us, and Kid Loki that we can play as a hero, so we can create that team. Star Power, Teleport, you get 2 attack. So we have Hulkling, Speed, Wiccan, Patriot. Iron Lad is a sub card, but that's fine. Stature is a sub card, she'd be kind of neat to have. And then Norvar would be the other Young Avenger other than Kid Loki. Search Parallel Dimensions. Investigate for an Avengers card and teleport that card. That is neat. Because she can literally look for an Avengers card, pull it out, and use it in her next turn. So it's like a draw card, but you're looking for a specific card. Kick a Hole in Reality, which is her special effect, or special ability. Strength card, reveal the top card of your deck, KO it, or teleport it. So either get rid of it or use it next turn. And her final card is Hyper Cosmic Awareness. You get +1 attack for each other card in your hand. Her enemies are Cosmic Aware. It's just pulverize them into star fragments. So that's neat. Definitely some interesting, different characters, but I think that's the whole point. Do they really theme together very well? Maybe not. But that's fine. Like, the Avengers abilities work well, the switcheroos. The one problem is Howard the Duck and Man-Thing were created before the set, so they're not going to really work well. They kind of work well with each other, but they don't work well with the other 3 as much because they weren't designed together. But still, it's not cool to be able to have them. So here's our Mastermind. We have J. Jonah Jameson, so can't wait to play with him against Spider-Man sometime. Like, oh, that's Spider-Man. Start the game. Put 2 S.H.I.E.L.D. officers per player into a face-down Angry Mob stack. Special rule, you can spend 4 attack to reveal a random Angry Mob and put it into any player's discard pile. You can't fight J. Jonah Jameson while he has an Angry Mob. Okay, so you have to So if you're playing a 2-player game or a 4-player game, you'd have 2, 4, 6, 8. You have to take out all 8 of them before you can fight him. But he only has 4 attacks, so it kind of makes sense. Basically like human shields, essentially. He leads the Spider Slayers. His Master Strike is each player investigates their deck for a card and puts it into the Angry Mob stack. Interesting. Yeah, so then you do that and you have to fight that character. And then he actually has an epic version. So yeah, all the newer sets, I think Champions or Spider-Man Homecoming started it. One of those two. Every Sacker has an epic. So now his has put 3 shield officers, so he gets more. They cost 5, and he costs 5 to beat. And then Investigate puts a player up. If it is 0 cost, they gain a wound. So it keeps you from putting in your cheapy cards. I would almost probably play against the epic version of this one, just because I like the idea of not being able to get rid of them shield agents or your starting hand like that. His tactics are slanderous editorial. Each other player investigates their deck for a non-gray hero, puts it into the Angry Mob stack. Players reveal all cards they investigated. And I'm guessing they reveal them so that everyone has an idea of what's going in there. Incite violent riots. Each player puts a wound from the wound stack into the mob. Oh boy. So that gives you multiple wounds you might end up buying. Promote Spider Slayer security. Each player puts a Spider Slayer for their victory pile into the Angry Mobs. When Spider Slayer is revealed, the Angry Mobs, it enters the city instead. So the Angry Mob thing is really neat. It could be a fun boss to fight against. That Menace Spider-Man. Each other player reveals their hand and discards a Spider Hero. Any player who cannot must instead put a non-gray hero from their hand into the Angry Mob. Okay, so that's sort of funny just because in this set there's no Spider characters. There are 2 Avengers, 1 Marvel Knight, and 2 characters with no team abilities. So if you're playing against this and this hits, while you're just playing this expansion, you're going to get hit with that ability. Alright, so that's J. Jonah Jameson. Let's look at his Spider Slayers he leads. So he's one of the few characters that leads a henchman group. I know Dr. Doom does. And I think the other one is Mandarin because he has his rings, I believe. I don't think any other characters lead henchmen. Not very many do. Because they're weaker, obviously. So he can't have lots of good fights. But he has Fight, 3 attack, like all henchmen do. Reveal the top 2 cards of your deck, put any that cost 2 or less into your hand, put the rest back in any order. So basically, you beat this guy, you're going to get a bunch of your starting cards. Or up to 2 of them. So there's all of those. The other set we get to fight against, the other henchman group, is the Circus of Crime. Which is funny, I just read a Generation X comic book with them in there. With these exact same characters. Reveal the top card of your deck. If it costs 0, KO it. Otherwise, draw it. So where the Spider Slayers lets you gain cards that are 2 or less, and this one says if any are 0, you just have to KO it. Otherwise, you get it. So you get 1 card, or you KO a cheap one. This will actually be a fun one to swap out for my ninjas, because I love the opportunity of either getting rid of a generic card or drawing a card versus like having to KO or just getting an extra recruit point. Alright, so we're also going to get these special bystanders. So these guys can get slipped into the bystander deck. And they just give you special bonuses when you get them. So when you rescue the double Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., when you rescue this bystander, play a copy of one of your S.H.I.E.L.D. or S.H.I.E.L.D. heroes or Hydra allies. So one of your starting cards or officers. But it could also be like a Red Skull or Scotty, or Nick Fury or Captain America, Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. So it's any single one of them. This is based off the cover. So you have Fortune Teller. When you rescue this bystander, guess 0 or not 0. Then reveal the top card of your deck. Check its cost. If you guessed right, draw it. So if you know you're about to rescue this bystander, you have some good cards in this set that let you manipulate the top of your deck, especially Investigate. We have a Photographer. This bystander is worth 1 victory point for each hero you have that costs 7 or more amongst all the cards at the end of the game. Okay, so that's interesting, but that's only good if you're going to play for victory points. Bulldozer Driver. When you rush this bystander, you may move 1 villain to an adjacent space. If another villain is there, swap them. And we have Forklift Driver. When you rush this bystander, put any number of heroes from the HQ on the bottom of the hero deck. Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah, so you have 5 brand new bystanders you can slip in there. Then when you end up drawing them, you gain or rescuing them. However you do, whether it's just a card that says rescue or if they get captured by a villain, you get some extra cards. So yeah, this is Dimensions. Is it something you want to buy? Yeah, it gives you some interesting new characters. If you're a fan of these characters or you want to try out like J. Jonah, definitely. If it's just like I can only buy like 2 or 3 sets, this might be one you could possibly pass on. Getting those extra special bystanders is really cool. Not a lot of sets have them. But again, because these characters aren't super thematic with each other, if you have a bunch of sets, just adding 1 or 2 of these characters to other decks should be fun. But like by itself, this is going to be a weird set to play. Check you later. Bye.